Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for April 17th, 2021, with your host, Peacemaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
We have like 2 chunks of news and then like not much else. It's been one of those weeks. But before we get into any of that, Tommy, we've been playing the last couple weeks.
I've gotten into the Spider-Man DLCs.
And how are those?
To be fair, I'm doing the ones right now that I've already known about, so yeah. It'll be once I get to the third one that might actually be a question.
Yeah, the last boss on the third one was a long pain in the ass.
I could see that.
I've been playing probably too much Dicey Dungeons. So I streamed this past Monday. Did you get to see any of it?
I think I did see some.
Okay. Well, it's like a roguelike. It's a roguelike, except over the course of going through the 6 floors you do, like for any of the characters you pick, all of your actions are determined by dice rolls.
Huh.
Like essentially you'll have an equipment that'd be like, do a thing, except only an odd number. So you have to do like a 1, 3, or 5, or you just have to stick a 1, 3, or 5 off a dice in there. Or if it's an even, it's a 2, 4, 6. Or, you know, you can split a dice, and if you split a 1 dice, you get 2 1 dice, because that's math, right? But yeah, it's really cool, and also every character has their own quirks. Like the warrior, which is the first character you pick up, or you get, he can reroll a dice 3 times, like any dice that you throw in it. And then like the thief actually lets you use 1 piece of equipment from the enemy per turn. But it's random what equipment you get. And then what else? The robot, instead of having the dice roll on the start of every turn, you hit a button to roll a single dice that fills up a meter. And if the meter goes over, like its total, you can't use anything. So you're having to like roll dice 1 by 1, or like maybe 2, to be like, okay, where am I at? What are my options? It's really cool. And a lot of, not necessarily math, but like going, okay, dice goes here, dice goes here. All right, what do I do with this dice? And also trying to find synergy with equipment, because the equipment is random. Or it's set per character, and I think per episode, because the episodes also have different characteristics to them. Like, what is it? I think the warrior's 2nd episode, you get 2 like battle axes that are really good, but every time you level up, you lose max HP instead of gain max HP.
Huh.
So now you're going, okay, because when you level up, you get an extra dice that you get to roll per turn. So you have to find that balance of, I want this many dice, but I also don't want to be at like 16 health going into the boss, because the boss may or may not one-shot me. But it's really cool. Ty streamed like a ton of it a while back, like including like I think like the 6th character and like the final boss of the game. And I know there's some mod community to this, because some people have done some mod stuff with it. So there's plenty to check out with this neat little roguelike title. Other than that, it has not been much. I have been 3D printing a ton of these 3-inch high walls. I have printed 12 of them so far, and I need another 12. What's really bad is that during the pre-show, I was like, what if I swap the cabinets my figure arts and my Soto are in? Can I do that? And I was seriously considering it. I was just like, maybe, no. Not really. No, I can't do that. I kind of just wish I had like a second of the cabinet I have for my figure art stuff that's just as wide. Because like I could fit a lot of stuff in there, because I'm seriously considering getting the Soto Ryuki stuff, because like it's everything I want for a Dragonite shelf. And I'm like, god damn it. It sucks. I am picking up Snap when it comes out before the next show. But the better question is, where do I get to order it from, and how many days after it releases am I going to get it? Because both Amazon and GameStop have been after like release day for me. So I think like the day after, and I'm just like, well, I will be fully vaccinated by then. Well, no, not okay. I will technically be fully vaccinated by then, because I'd be on like the 2-week gestation period, I guess. What is the term for it?
I have no idea.
Okay. But I'd be on that 2-week like gestation period, I guess. So maybe I should just walk my ass into a GameStop and be like, yo, give me a copy of Pokemon Snap. I want to just go home and play. Granted, first time I try this, they won't have a fucking copy at all. Because, of course, they won't. Anyway. I am, since I got my black filament in, I'm going to try to start modeling up Izu's bow to put on a 0-2 figure. Because, you know that... I think I showed you a photoshopped of 0-2, but all of the red is Izu's green.
Yeah.
Okay, I still want to do that, but I want to not use like the regular back on 0-2. I actually want to use either the Shining, or, well, say technically the same thing, the Shining, the back piece of Shining. Because I think that would be like a nice silhouette. It would be something different. It wouldn't just be a straight 0-2 repaint.
I mean, true.
The only problem is I found out, because I did try to do a test fitting, it technically doesn't fit. Kind of.
Well, that sucks.
Well, it's because how the back piece is, like, part of it like comes around and kind of like hugs against the chest. I'd have to shave those down a bit to like get it to fit properly. Granted, I can't do a test fitting, because that would mean demolishing one of the 3 figures that has that back piece I have to do so, and I don't want to do that. So I'd have to get like a spare, like Shining. Yeah, probably just a spare Shining or Shining Assault, or not Hell Rising, because, well, no, I'd be repainting it anyway, so it doesn't matter if I get a spare Hell Rising. Any of those 3, really, to get the back piece, I can try shaving it down and do a test fit on the 0-2 I have to see if it would work. Because also, stupid me is like, well, if Izu got to be her own rider, what would be her progress key? What if it's just a hummingbird? Because all of the animal progress keys have an ing word before the animal name. And like, hummingbird is one of the only animals that is just the normal name for it. So I think that'd just be a funny goof. And that way the shining back piece is technically like an output for some fancy CG wings of some kind.
Fair.
I don't know. That's where my head goes for that. I'm just like, you know what? I'll try it. We'll see what happens. But that's a project for later. Anything else?
No.
All right, let's hit the news. So apparently at some point, and we didn't get this until now, after the ESA has denied it, that apparently they were going to do paid E3 content this year. It was a rumor. I have to ask, the fuck? Like the literal fuck? Who? Okay, if it's not an actual rumor, who the fuck would do that? And B, if it was actually going to be the case until people caught wind of this and said, fuck that, why? What benefit? What possible benefit would that be?
I mean, you gotta put a paywall up for demos.
That's not gonna last long. I can almost guarantee it. It just takes one person to put on a pirate hat and say, I don't give a fuck, to say nope. So while E3 is still virtual this year, it will be all free, so yay! And right now, I think the only major thing for E3 this year is that Nintendo will do a Direct for E3 this year. Like, that is straight up confirmed from Nintendo themselves.
So normal.
Yes. So, what is the betting pool on Zelda 2, Prime 4, and whatever the fuck else?
Oh, it's straight up on a bingo card.
Yeah.
The bad thing is they're all four in different corners kind of deal. Like, we'll just throw extras in there too.
I didn't put this in the news because I didn't think to put it in there, but some ex-Nintendo director, I think, no, designer, talked about how F-Zero isn't dead. It's looking for a grand new idea to make a new game about.
So it's dead.
Yes.
Got it.
I also just have to ask, what possible idea are you going to throw on F-Zero? Because the last time you did that with a franchise that, you know, is probably in the same boat with Star Fox, it didn't work.
I mean, you know, the grand idea is let's throw motion controls.
How about, and I actually weirdly saw this from the cheaper than a year of Fire Emblem Heroes Pass Twitter. Why not just make a cheaper F-Zero game and put it on the eShop?
Because then it won't make enough money.
But it's a cheaper. It would have a smaller budget.
But it won't make as much money.
It will make enough money,
but not enough.
Poo Pikachu.
I mean, it needs to make more money. Look, if Nintendo can't put a $60 price tag on it forever, then
well, just put a $30 price tag on it forever. It's fine.
No, it's got to have a $60 price tag on it forever. Tell me I'm wrong on that.
No.
Hyrule Warriors is still $60.
Regular or definitive?
If I'm not mistaken, definitive.
Okay. If you were going to say regular, I was going to be more... I was going to be at least a little shocked.
Regular probably is too, I'm not going to lie.
1 second, folks.
I mean, do not look at physical, look at digital. Because, you know, people with pre-owned physical actually make more sense than Nintendo with their years-old digital.
It is 60.
Yeah. Like I said, 60 forever.
But you can get a physical copy for $46.89 on Amazon.
And you could probably get a pre-owned copy at GameStop for about the same and or a little less.
What? No. Lower.
Wow. That's... Oh, right. Wii U. Never mind.
Yep. 15.
Yep, that was the exact reaction there. It's like, oh yeah, Wii U, never mind. Yeah. It's a wonder they're not just giving whatever they have left away at this point.
I mean, like, why the fuck would you pick up the Wii U version and not just the Switch version at this point?
I mean, because you're one of the few that for some reason have the Wii U and not a Switch?
Fair.
Because I don't feel like that's putting down anyone. I feel like that's an actual valid point. If you're a Nintendo fan, you more than likely already have a Switch. And chances are that's the only reason that you have a Wii U.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So E3 is a thing. But you know what also is a thing this year? The Summer of Games from the Jeff Keighley. The Jeff Keighley. So this is happening this year. It'd be happening in June like it did last year. So yay, network of events and stuff. Woo. You know, where did I hear this? I forget where I heard this. No, I heard this from someone who was talking about Badland Wonderworld, which has been garbage. And he brought up a really good point. Just a general point. We haven't really seen the effects of COVID on video game development, like, in full. Like, because think about how many games are currently in development, rather than have just wrapped development before COVID came in.
I mean, fair.
There are still a number of games that will still have the marks of being developed during COVID and during at-home development time, probably for the next like 4 years or so. And I'm like, damn.
I mean, true, but at the same time, it kind of have to argue the fact of, you know, COVID really shouldn't have changed too much on that end of things.
Yeah.
Like, movie industry, yes. It completely, I can understand a lot of it being affected.
Mm-hmm.
Video game industry, not so much.
I think the main reason the video game industry would be affected is because of depending on the studio setup, limited access to dev kits. Potentially.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
And I more say that because of the fact of really we're kind of close to the point where they don't necessarily need the dev kits until they're actually trying to work on finishing touches. Like when you start refining the movement, the physics and stuff like that, that's kind of that point.
Mm-hmm.
Up till then, most of what you've got for higher end computers would work.
Yeah.
Like you could still, in theory, get the bulk of a game done without ever once touching a dev kit. Because a lot of the infrastructures that are used on PC as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, that's why I'm like, I do get the point where the wrapping development might take longer because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also think that we would still be seeing something coming from some of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of getting me. It's like, how did we fall flat on our face with this too?
I think it's because in general we need people in the actual building to work on stuff, when in reality we don't for a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
Like take the job I had for a couple months, like customer service.
That never really has to be a in building.
No, I don't need to be in a building for that.
No.
Like, ever. Like, the only time it would have been nice to have been in the building is because the products I was doing customer service for would have been right next to me and I would have been able to do something with that. But otherwise, no.
Yes and no, because a lot of times stuff like that's in its own separate building. Usually not in anywhere close, kind of deal.
True. But for mine, it would have been in the exact same building, because it's one building.
I mean, fair, but I'm just looking in general.
Yeah. In general, that wouldn't be the case.
You wouldn't have had that either.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, a lot of that, I'm like, yeah, we think we understand remote working, but we don't.
Yeah.
We are, unfortunately, a good 5-10 years out from actually having a grasp on that.
Yeah.
And we kind of got thrusted into it.
I honestly think as long as I didn't have to physically work on something with like the job I'm actually looking for, I could probably do a lot of it at home.
Probably.
Granted, I would actually like to be in a building with materials and stuff to actually make stuff, because like that's the part of the job I really want to do, but because have you ever seen the Hacksmith on YouTube?
I don't think I have.
Okay, he's a guy who runs more or less a little like small we make stuff for real company, more or less. They're currently working on making like the entire Mandalorian armor from the show. And they've done like a bunch of other builds and stuff like that. They made actually it's technically a proto saber because it's a lightsaber attached to a backpack, but they made a plasma based lightsaber. That functions pretty much like a lightsaber, except it's got to run on like this giant backpack of propane, and I forgot what else the material was. But in one of their videos, one of their interns actually has the exact same degree as me. Like name and everything, and I'm just like, it's nice to know that you got to build stuff for your degree. I didn't. And also, oh hey, you get to intern with these people. That's cool. because they do a lot of like the normal engineering work, which would be numbers and stuff, but they also do a lot of manufacturing and like making that stuff actually practical, which is what I really want, because numbers mean nothing if you don't actually ground those numbers and actually do something with them.
Fair. And I would have to guess what looks good on paper might not work. Concept.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, being able to do both is fun.
Yeah, it's called prototyping.
And I mainly say that sitting there thinking about the various stuff I've had to implement on the site. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, same thing. Concepts are very easy to grasp on paper.
Yeah.
Putting them to use is a whole nother concept.
Only downside is this guy's place is in Ontario, Canada. And I'm like, damn. If only you were A, closer, and B, would have actually gave a shit about me, because my grades weren't the best at coming out, so. But yeah, like, seeing what they're doing, I'm like, that's what I want to do with my degree. Like, not necessarily like, I want to turn a video game thing into a real thing. No, I want to actually like go, all right, from design to prototype to like scaling up, blah, blah, like the whole 9 yards process. That's what I want to do. But I can't get my foot in the door anywhere to be able to actually learn how to properly do that at a company. But yeah, oh well. Anyway. Shall we talk about not my dead-end career things?
I mean, you're not alone. Just throwing that out there. But yes.
Yeah. So Nintendo had an indie showcase this past week, and there's actually some really cool stuff. I wish we had more screenshots of some of the stuff.
Oh.
So first and foremost, I'm just going to go down this list, and I will skim through the indie showcase, make sure we're not missing anything. Road 96. This is a procedurally generated adventure game, which, like, you pick a character, you approach a kid at a stop on not road, like a random road plus number. So either like Road 96, Road 84, Road 109, more or less, not Route 66, more or less, is kind of what this game's going for. And from there, you make choices, and you kind of just end up on a different story path, depending on where you end up, and you meet different characters along the way. And it looks like there's different mini games depending on the characters. Like, one of them, you're doing a shootout out of the back of a truck. The other one, you're trying to make a taxi driver not want to murder you, I guess. And also, I believe the screenshot at the bottom is from that game, if I recall correctly. So, it honestly looks pretty cool. I'd be curious to see some playthroughs of this and see how different these procedurally generated routes are.
Huh.
This was the last thing for the showcase, but Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. So Oxenfree is getting a sequel. Oxenfree was a side-scrolling kind of horror game with a lot of like sound-based gameplay stuff to it, and it getting a sequel is actually pretty cool. Ollie World is a kind of endless runner, but it's a skateboard game. So you're doing tricks and stuff. The Longing is another really weird game that could only exist on an indie game. So it's an adventure game where you play as a character that is a servant to a king that wakes up in 400 days. Your gameplay is burning the 400 days time in real time. You're just trying to find stuff to do for 400 days as you wait for your kingdom to wake up.
Huh.
In real time, mind you. Which is one of those, okay. Like, I'm pretty sure someone can, like, it will go off like the Switch's internal clock and stuff, so you can honestly manipulate that however you want. But that's something that only the indies can do.
I could also see that speedrun for that game having multiple categories just based off of that alone, if it is on the Switch's internal clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shredder's Revenge got another trailer. Don't believe it's got a date still or a price, but it is coming to Switch. So yay! They literally name drop Turtles in Time, or they name drop like classic beat 'em up Turtles games, but they didn't say the words Turtles in Time, which this game is clearly pulling most of its inspiration from. Which, that's not a bad thing. That's the really good one.
True.
And then we have Getsu Fumaden Undying Moon. Now I don't remember what this one was. Not that one. Not that one, but that also looked good. Oh, this one. It kind of reminds me of Vanillaware in a lot of respects. Like, super stylized, really good art style, just action game. I think this might be a roguelike.
I think it did say something about mixed with roguelike.
Yeah. But yeah, it just feels like something like Vanillaware would do, but it's a very different art style than Vanillaware's normal stuff, but it looks really cool. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff at this indie showcase, if I'm being perfectly honest. If you skipped out on this because it's not a Nintendo Direct, your loss. You should go watch this. There's cool stuff here. Aerial Knights Never Yield is I think this might be a one-man. This is coming from Aerial Knight himself, was his username. This might be like a one-man, like, endless runner project with some really good music to it. Like, I heard the music during the showcase, and it's like, this is really good music. This game should be bought just for music alone. Aztec Forgotten Gods looks like it does not belong on the Switch, because it looks like it won't run that well on the Switch, because it looks too good for the Switch. But it's like 3D platformer action game with like bosses and stuff based off Aztec gods, but it's got a big tech twist to it. It looks pretty cool, but I think this probably runs better on a different system that isn't the Switch. It looks too big for Switch. Let's see. There Is No Game Wrong Dimension is already out. How would you like to play a bunch of random games trying to beat one game? Like, actual games trying to beat one game.
I mean, there is no game.
Yeah. Beast of Marville. I don't remember this one offhand. It says it's a photography game, so I guess if you've done everything you want in Pokemon Snap, this is there for you. Skull the Hero Slayer. Is that one of the ones? There was one that was like, oh, super good art style. That was just like, No, that's not okay. Okay, the one I'm thinking of is not on this list for some reason. I think it's been out for a while, but it's coming to Switch. It's called. It's called Chris Tales. It has like some time manipulation stuff in its battle mechanics, but its art style looks super good. Like it's a really cool art style. I keep talking about art style so much in this, don't I?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah. I just keep emphasizing. I don't know, because I feel like that's like a really good way to like hook people on some games. It's just like, look at how cool this game looks, just on a visual level. We also have Art of Rally, Kiwi, Ender Lies, Weaving Tales, Labyrinth City, and the House of the Dead remake. Yeah, there's cool stuff. I encourage anyone to go watch this. Find some cool indie stuff, as my dog barks at the window.
Find some cool art styles.
Pretty much.
Had to say it.
I don't know why I emphasize that so much sometimes.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of indie game thing.
Yeah. So, anything else before we move on?
Nah.
So, you know how we're all looking forward to the Metroid Prime trilogy if that ever comes out?
Yes.
But what if you could play a remake of Metroid Prime 1?
I don't know how to feel about that.
So, let me get some names here. I guess no names, but a group is working on demaking Metroid Prime into a 2.5D style. There is a demo currently available, well, proper 2D style, actually, not 2.5D. But yeah, there's a demo out for it right now. But they are taking it way back to like classic Metroid, but it's Metroid Prime. It's 5 years of work from Team SCU. They're calling this project Prime 2D to try to avoid copyright. That won't last long.
Nintendo will still shut them down.
Yeah. But it is out there. Honestly, I kind of like the first things I'm seeing of this. Although it's weird to see a Prime demo start on the planet and not on the space station. I do like that they have like an extended reticle that I think does a lock on, or at least a soft lock on. No, it doesn't have a lock on. I kind of dig this. How do you feel?
Kind of letting part of it play right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm skimming through the whole demo at the moment.
You know what's funny?
What?
They might actually get away with not getting shut down too quick.
Yeah. Has plenty of scan stuff. Or all the scanning stuff still in the game. Or still in this. I don't know if this is all the same logs and stuff. I would assume so. Well, while you're playing through that, I need to go let my dog out real quick. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I'd honestly give this a shot.
I kind of would too.
So I guess keep an eye out for this, see if they make the whole game before Nintendo's like, no, you're not allowed to have fun. Denied. We deny you your fan project.
Looks like they're trying to stay as true to Metroid Prime, but it also feels like they're borrowing concepts from like Super Metroid.
That makes sense. If you're gonna go take Prime back to 2D for a demake, you might as well pull from Super Metroid.
Because I'm super getting like Super Metroid vibes off of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, anything else before we move to our last thing? Oh.
Also, yes, I do have one thing. Nintendo, this is how you do motion controls.
Is it motion control?
It's mouse control, but close enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, close enough.
Mm-hmm. So we had a Resident Evil showcase ahead of Resident Evil Village's release in like less than a month. So a couple things to note. First and foremost, a big demo, like 2-part demo, is being planned ahead of the release. It'll be at the end of this month. Well, technically it's already started because today at like 5 p.m. Pacific, so like 2 hours ago, you could have played the Village demo for 6 hours, or no, 8 hours. You would have got to explore the village, like do whatever you wanted in the village for 8 hours. And then on the 24th in North America, you'll be able to explore the castle for 8 hours. And both of those are the PlayStation like early access ones. And then for all platforms, which is PS5, PS4, Series X, Xbox One, Steam, and Stadia, on May 1st, you'll be able to do the 8 hours, but you'll have both demos available to you. So you get to pick and choose how much time you want to spend on either of them. And like I said, this is all ahead of Resident Evil Village being released in like a couple of weeks. Let me get the exact release date real quick. May 7th, actually.
Oh,
so like two.
So then
so like two.
The last demo set actually goes longer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just PlayStation people get to do the demo for a little bit early for both versions. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just them going, hey, we're promoting Village. Come play Village. On top of that, they also announced that Resident Evil 4 is coming to VR, specifically the Oculus Quest 2. So you can play Resident Evil 4 in VR. Yay! Ahead of it being remade. Also, oh, they're putting in a Mercenaries mode for Resident Evil 7. For those that don't know, Mercenaries is normally just a time attack mode that's been in a couple different Resident Evils. It's a kind of a fan favorite mode for a lot of people. But they're changing it up by giving you access to upgrades in a shop to like plan out your equipment in between levels. So they're giving you a little bit more like strategy stuff to deal with. So cool. And Mercenaries is packed in with Village. So it's not even going to be DLC. It's just day one, here's Mercenaries. Just like with the multiplayer thing that I forget the name of. They also showed a trailer for Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, which is the new CG movie that's on Netflix that has Leon and Claire in it. And surprising enough, it takes place like 2 months after Resident Evil 4. And there's a zombie outbreak at the White House, and Leon has to protect Ashley's dad, who is the current president at this time. In game, mind you. So, that's cool. They also didn't want to talk about anyone else appearing in the movie, which suggests, I assume, more people are from the games are showing up. I would assume Ashley might be showing up as well, since her dad's in this.
No, can't have her in there. That would make more sense.
And lastly, Dead by Daylight, as a part of their 5th fucking anniversary in Resident Evil's 25th. I didn't realize Dead by Daylight's 5 fucking years old.
I could see it. Actually.
Yeah, June 14th, 2016. They will be having a Resident Evil crossover as a part of both of their anniversaries. Dead by Daylight devs will be announcing it at their live stream sometime in the future. I forgot when. But this is on top of a dozen other crossovers they have. Like, they have a Left 4 Dead one. Like, I forget his name, but the old guy from 1, like old military.
His name either.
Yeah, he's like a playable character. There's a Silent Hill one. There's a Stranger Things one. There's Nightmare on Elm Street. There's a half dozen fucking crossovers with this game now because they're getting not everything in. So here's some Resident Evil stuff of. We don't know. I would assume, considering the other crossover stuff they've done, it will be a survivor character, a like serial killer character, which is what, like, for reference, Dead by Daylight's a 4v1 multiplayer game with 4 survivors and 1 killer. So I assume a survivor of pick one, and I assume like a tyrant or like, I don't know, one of the bigger humanoid bosses of Resident Evil as a killer, and then a themed Resident Evil map. Because I think that's kind of their standard DLC loadout for stuff.
Makes sense.
But that is all the news we had for this week.
Yep. Because I forgot the other one was actually your quick draw. Luckily, I didn't transition to that.
But now we have releases, which are incredibly fun as well when my sinuses are draining into my throat. Joy. I love pollen. I assume that's what tripped it.
Probably.
So we're gonna kick off on the 18th with Borderlands 3 Director's Cut for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. On the 20th, MLB The Show 2021 with Xbox One, or on Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. On the 21st, Dungeon Escape for Switch, Paindrome Syndrome Escape Room for Switch, and World Splitter for Switch. On the 22nd, Angel of Death for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. As Divine Cross for Switch, Asbo Tights for Switch, Altair Friss the Alchemist and the Mysterious Journey DX for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Altair's Lena and Suil, The Alchemist and the Mysterious Paintings DX for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Altair Mysterious Trilogy Deluxe Pack for PlayStation 4 and Switch, and Altair Sophia, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Book for DX for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Boomerang for Switch, Brave Match for Switch, Buildings Have Feelings 2 for Switch. What?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. Devil Slayer Rakasasai for Switch. Escape a Kid's Room, The Adventures of Nyanziom and Kuma Kichi Escape Game Series for Switch. Infinite Adventures for Switch. MotoGP 21 for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Mystic Fate for Switch, Pacross S6 for Switch, Road Fury for Switch, Sakura Succubus for Switch, Scourge Bringer for PlayStation 4, Shantae for Switch, Skyland Rush Air Raid Attack for Switch, Smelter for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Toho Hyobana Anatomy of Common Flowers for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion for Switch. What? What?
I don't even.
1 second. The fuck is this? Here is the Steam description. Play as an adorable yet troublemaking turnip, avoid paying taxes, solve plantastic puzzles, harvest crops, and battle massive beasts, all in a journey to tear down a corrupt vegetable government. It looks like Stardew Valley. What the fuck? Actually, no, it kind of looks like a older GBA title, really. And you fight a giant pig with a crown at some point. Okay, cool. Moving on. War of Stealth Assassin for Switch, World Splitter for Xbox One, and Wrath the Oblivion Afterlife for PlayStation 4. On the 23rd, Antventer for Xbox One, Battle Axe for Xbox One, Dead Dust for Xbox One and Switch, Dungeon and Gravestone for Xbox One and Switch, Dungholes for Switch, EGI for Switch, Judgment for Series X and PlayStation 5, Little Mouse Encyclopedia for Xbox One and Switch, Moon Raider for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Switch, Mortal Shell Enhanced Edition for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation, and PlayStation 5, Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139 ... for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Gotta make sure I get the dots in.
Right.
The Skylia Prophecy for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, and Trails and Traces, The Tomb of Thomas 2 for Switch. On the 27th, Chess Ultra for Switch, Death End Request for Switch, Pure Pool for Switch, and Terra Trilogy for PlayStation 4. On the 28th, my birthday for reference, Crime Opera, The Butterfly Effect for Switch, the fuck is this word? Cymatically muffed? But I cannot read this fucking game title for the life of me. appropriate it comes out on my birthday. Cymatically muffed for XS1 and Series X. Gracia Phantom Trigger Volumes 1 to 5 for Switch. Taiwan Monster Fruit for Switch, and Taiwan Monster Fruit Prologue for Switch. On the 29th, Battle Axe for Switch, Castaway Paradise for Switch, Fly Together for Switch, Recnum Cherry Dreamland for Switch, and Secret Neighbor for PlayStation 4. And finally, on the 30th, Crypto the Necrodancer for PlayStation 4 and Switch, new Pokemon Snap for Switch, R-Type Final 2 for XS1 Series X for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Returnal for PlayStation 5, Santa Max Save the World Remastered for Switch, Super Arcade Soccer version 2021 for Switch, and Terminator Resistance Enhanced for PlayStation 5. Switch, stop having big eShop days, please. Stop. Nope. Stop.
Nope.
So, for my quick draw. So, do you know the Power Rangers has a fighting game?
Yes.
So, before this fighting game, for the mobile game, they did a crossover with Street Fighter, where Ryu became a Power Ranger. And then Chun-Li became a Power Ranger. And now, for the proper fighting game, they're putting in Ryu and Chun-Li and in their Power Ranger forms in the fighting game. And this is real. And apparently Ryu looks fucking amazing for someone in a crossover game. Because normally, apparently, Ryu is dog shit in crossover games. But there's a bit more to this, at least for me, because I saw someone mention how this game is really big in the fighting game community. Which, you know, I'm in Ty's stream all the time, in Mini-Mats occasionally. Both of them are part of the Colorado FGC. They rarely talk about Power Rangers, and Power Rangers rarely gets brought up, I think, in the Colorado FGC like circle that they are part of. Granted, that might just be their region of the FGC, but I checked the Twitch numbers one day. Would you care to guess where Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is?
I feel like probably not as high as one would expect.
Oh, it is way down there.
Yeah.
Like, Soul Calibur 6 has more numbers, is pulling more numbers than it.
Makes sense.
So I'm incredibly confused because I'm also very aware that like fighting games are kind of niche. They're not as big as you think they are, to be perfectly honest. So I'm like, where are people getting these assumptions that there's a big community around Battle for the Grid?
Because Power Rangers.
Do people forget the Power Rangers is niche itself?
Yes.
I don't know. It just bugged me because I'm like, no, not as big as you think it is. Like, is it a dedicated community? Yes, but it is not a big community. Not compared to other fighting games. Like, you know, Street Fighter, or Tekken, or Soul Calibur, or BlazBlue of any variety at the current moment, or Under Night of any variety at the current moment, or Mortal Kombat of any of the three varieties at the current moment. I think mainly Mortal Kombat 11. Because I also double-checked what was supposed to be EVO last year. Power Rangers wasn't on the main stage at all. Which pretty much tells you all you need to know of it is not as big as any of these other games. Because, you know, while Mortal Kombat wasn't on that list, you know, I think Cross Tag Battle was on there, Smash was on there. Also, yeah, Smash, pretty big numbers for a fighting game, because it's still a fighting game. I think there was a Tekken there. I forgot the list offhand, but like it wasn't there. And I'm like that doesn't mean that Power Rangers wouldn't have had a side event at well, this was technically the digital Evo that was supposed to happen last year before it got canceled because shit went down with Evo. That is a long story that we're not getting into. But I don't know. I feel weird because I'm like, no, I think you're making assumptions about something you don't know what is. Personally. Like, not, I don't mean anything bad by that, but I'm like, it's not that big. Unless, like, Power Rangers is getting, like, some big tournaments run for it that nobody talks about. But anyway, that was my quick draw of me feeling weird about hearing things when it comes to video games from someone I'm pretty sure is not as in depth with video games, especially fighting games, as I think they are. Or not, I don't know. But you don't have a quick draw, right?
That is correct.
So, Monday, we do more Beast Wars, as I might have decided to watch some clips from later episodes this past week.
Good one.
I was just in a mood. I was just like, I gotta watch the end of this one episode again. Because for some reason, YouTube's recommending me fucking clips of Transformers shows, specifically Transformers Prime. And I was like, well. But Monday, we take a look at another 4 episodes. Then Thursday, we will finish up Miles Morales. Friday, we will continue par score hunting with Halo 3 and probably knock them all out of the park because how we've got it kind of guarantees us getting them.
Yeah.
Like, even if we die a good bit, we're still in the clear for the most part.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it helps that I don't think they fixed the not scaling difficulty with multiplayer in Halo 3. I assume.
I don't know if it's just that or if we might have the right combination where it don't matter.
It's probably just the right combination. But Saturday will be the thing. A multiplayer thing.
A multiplayer thing of something.
Yep. Which brings us back around to that Sunday, that following Sunday or Monday with more TGSR. So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. @CGSoon on Twitter gets you updates when they go live. Next special point, Discord and chat gets a Discord link. Drop by, say hi. We will see you Monday, folks.